And we're gonna load in. Give me a sec. I also found out a story secret with the lore, so. Boy, was I cooking when I said we are the Valar. Oh boy. Oh boy, do I have a list right here. Just some characters from the Silmarillion, and then a dash next to them. Hello, future viewers, by the way. I'm gonna tune in on my phone. I'm gonna give it a minute. Actually, I'm gonna go check to make sure we're live on the other. Because it says 0 when I click on my phone here, which isn't a good sign. And then I will reveal the secrets of the story of Nightreign. Okay. Good. We're not even loaded in yet. Right when I sit down. Boom. Okay, never mind. It was moving. So the characters of Nightreign. How convenient. How convenient that we start with 8 characters. You see, this is the problem. I'm in game design mode right now. I should not be legally allowed to play Elden Ring. Ulmo, Manwë, Orome, Yavanna, Aule, Nienna, Varda, and Mandos. There you go. Is that it? Is that the secret? Okay, let's get this story going. Alright, I should at least explain the gibberish that I just said. Ulmo is a boat water faring, or well, it's a god that is associated with the ocean, and he teaches the elves boating, right? He tells someone, go teach the elves how to make boats. So, boats on his coats. Also, his helmet is the exact same shape, but let's not even go there. Blue, water, existing alone. Makes sense. Also, it's very convenient with how many characters. It's the 8th strongest of the Valar, which is the Aratar. Anyway, let's go. Manwë is a guy who has bird power, or like he makes birds eventually in the story. It's way more than that. He's like the god of wind. So, eagles and wind. Manwë. Orome is the huntsman of the Valar. So he is the hunter. He rides a horse and he hunts. He's one of the strongest next to the other guy, but we'll get to him. The reason I say this is Yavanna is Yavanna makes the two trees, right? The golden tree and the white tree. The I forget they both have a bunch of names, god damn it. Dual identities for dual trees. There's two trees and they both have two names. So there's 4 names to remember. It's too much, okay? Forgive me. That's where I draw the line. But they, um they signify the time and passing of time, right? And they're all technically nobility, so she would be a duchess, not the highest noble's wife, but just a different royal. And this is where it gets kind of obvious. Aule, the guy who created the dwarves and forged stone, totem stela. Okay? I feel like I don't need to explain more than that, but anyway. The reason I say Nienna is the Revenant is she's like related to Mandos, who I think is this guy, because of like the dwelling in the halls of the dead. But the calling of the spirits specifically, so he turns into a beast. He evokes the spirit of the beast if that's in his armor. And then by process of elimination, the Queen of the Stars, whose story is tied to Manwë because they're married, right? That would leave the recluse. That's her, right? Star Girl. Kind of all lines up with everyone's powers. So if if Nienna is related to Mandos, the guy who can summon spirits, it would make sense why Nienna can summon spirits, the spirit maiden who like exists by herself. So that was the one thing that I was kind of confused on. Nienna is a recluse. She exists alone, right? That's like one way they describe her in the book of the Silmarillion. So it could be that the recluse, is Nienna. And then the Revenant is Varda. But I don't know her connection to the stars so much as I mean her connection to the stars. She's very much like the Star Maiden. Under her hat is like celestial. Let's go look. Is she over here? Yeah. It's like an astral. What the hell? Oh, that's like one of her skins. Anyway. I was right. Again. Lines up a little too well. So I will now be referring to these characters as their Valar names. I am Ulmo. Okay, wait, we actually need to do the remembrance. The Wilder continued to fight, never mentioning his younger sister. There was no way forward except to soldier through the war at hand. He returned to the Round Table Hold that day to discover a note from the Iron Menial. I've considered what might explain your singular obsession with that earring. Then it came to me. The two of you possess a striking likeness, so much so that I simply cannot deny it. There's something that you must know. Please check the study. I feel as if the game speaks to us. Let's check it out. reading books. A short passage on the passing of the night. Hark, warriors. Tell the Lord and thy sins absolve. Upon the breaking of the night the hold shall crumble, and thou too shalt be unbound. So we're bound to the inside of the Erd tree because we are those who live in death? And then we get set free. A short passage on the priestess of the Round Table. The priestess, mouthpiece of the formless master, rooted to the Round Table, she must share its fate. Of rebirth? A short passage on the underground crypt. We lie the condemned of the first nightfall, whose sin is too great for absolution by our own deeds. So it's like one sentence. It's weird that it... Anyway. Thus we shall ever guide our progeny until the night breaks. Oh. A stone door is moved somewhere. Now, from somewhere, the sound of a heavy door opening rings out. God damn, the writing is crazy. Not yet, I guess.
Yes, the crypt is filled with the ancient people of these lands. I still remember looking after them long, long ago. As you know, mortality does not apply to those such as myself. These souls were laid to rest here in anticipation of the threat we now face, in a ritual required to draw the minds of their descendants here.
Is this the Hall of Mandos? It's literally a crypt with people in it. Ah.
Brave champion, there is something that you should know. The priestess was here long before the rest of you. Indeed, she is held captive by the Round Table itself. Brave champion, the priestess, indeed,
Okay.
by the Round Table.
The Round Table itself. The ways of cutting point to the deep woods. Bestow branches to those who are worthy and wise. The ways of cutting point to Windwale Knoll. Bestow branches to those who wander and roam. Not all who wander are lost. Not all that is gold does glitter. Right? Actually, you gotta reverse those. It's not all that is gold does glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. To atone for the first sin, we elect to become the foundation. Deep roots. Let's get to it, shall we? What the fuck exactly are we getting to? we we spoke to everyone. Am I supposed to speak to the? Yeah, the Duchess. My sister. I think.
What is it? You can tell me. So, dear caretaker let the cat out the bag. It's true. I'm imprisoned by the Round Table Hold. Far from an architect of this scheme, I am merely another condemned. You may find it amusing, but it is the truth. Once we're done, it will be goodbye. The Round Table Hold and I are one and the same. I am rooted to this place, my exit forbidden. I'm glad we're in this together. It could be worse. We will win this war. I promise.
The Wilder had the same dream, time and time again. A long night persists, driving his clansfolk to madness. After a horrific battle, all that remains upon Windwale Knoll is a sea of gravestones. After the death of cousin Farhad, little Shirin, and his own father, the clan's chieftain, the Wilder, discovers that only he remains. And now only he can avenge his clan. Only he can bring an end to the night. But even if he can, once we're done, it will be goodbye. Even if the night were extinguished, the twin horses will never gallop aside one another again. Holding his great sword, the Wilder drifted off to sleep. Out of nowhere, he heard the rustle of cloth, then the clink of something being placed on the table. The Wilder awoke and slowly sat up. The note attached to the key reads, "Take this, warrior. I apologize for mine intrusion. All is forgiven. Small key featuring fine ornamentation." So you make everything easier to break. It's, oh god, I just need to break some shit real quick. Hold on.
How are you faring to... Have you noticed, dear champion?
Yeah.
Periodic changes of scenery, shifts in the footing of the lands between? You might not think it, but there is a logic to the night's devouring creep. Pay careful
I do
attention,
think it.
and you are sure to reap dividends.
Damn. What's in the box? Torn out paper scrap. A scrap of paper detailing... Oh, excuse me. The qualities of the Night Lord bearing the manifest potential to alter fate itself. The light dimly reveals the contours of a greater being that lies beyond the Night Lord. A thing with the properties of a great rune harbored by the primordial Night Lord. The cutting gifted tribe anticipated the coming night and spent many a moon planning its prevention, concluding that their only chance at success was to cheat a god. They had glimpsed what they should not, the very sin of the Erd Tree. For their trespass, so were they punished. Damn. Alright. A single earring belonging to the Wilder, rusted and encrusted with grime. Such ornaments were worn with generations by a distant tribe. They are delicately embellished to cast a pattern when held up to the light. This appears to be one of a pair. Mended earring. With its pin repaired, this earring has been fully restored. Such ornaments were worn for generations by a distant tribe. They are delicately embellished to cast a pattern when held up to the light. Closely resembles one owned by the Wilder. A small key featuring fine ornamentation. A fine work of craft made by Gillian, the Duchess's steward and de facto patron. We got a name for the guy. Gillian or Gillian? I'm gonna say Gillian because it's funnier to say that. The Duchess once lived under the Viscount's roof, where she applied herself as a virtuous thief. She locked the tools of her trade inside a box of prized possessions, which she hid in a dim cellar. This practice has not changed since coming to the Round Table hold. She yet keeps her secrets safe from prying eyes, concealing them in darkened corners. A scrap of paper detailing New Night, written in the tongue of an ancient people. The passing torn from its former binding reads, or the passage torn from its former binding reads, the priestess is the very cornerstone of the Round Table, indispensable. Should the night fall, the Round Table too will crumble, as their fates are together bound. Yet should the Round Table be remade, perhaps the priestess may be emancipated from her bindings. This might be done upon the falling of the new night, should the Lord's power be lost. And if so, she may be spared, the cycle can continue. Oh, so the priestess may be remade? Then the end. Then it ends. Is that the joke? And if so, then everything ends. And so it literally ends the fucking. That's hilarious. The two options there are that it either ends or continues. That's actually really fucking hilarious.
How are you faring today, champion?
Pretty
I'm pleased
good.
to see everyone making use of the round table. I can only offer scant aid.
I'm alright.
Offer it
How are you
when
doing,
I
Puppet
shall.
Man? How are you doing, Gillian? Murphy? Hope you're alright. Alright. Now what?
How are you faring? Speak to me.
Oh, recluse. Varda, I need your help. I need answers from the stars.
Does the idea of leaving the priestess behind trouble thee? What a tender soul thou art. In that case, I have knowledge I would relay. Seek thee a tear of silver, but the road will be one of hardship.
Should I have said no
All the
first?
same, I wish thee good fortune, for the fortitude required is a rare thing indeed. Seek thee a good fortune.
How are you? Well, I shall expound upon the matter. I've heard stories of the
Ah.
eclipse. Some postulate that the tears are the essence of life itself. If that is what you seek, then you might wish to pay a visit to Naclatio.
Nicladio.
City, a place that was once part of a greater whole.
Actually, I wasn't too wrong in my pronunciation. I knew that he said it at some point and I'd get corrected, but I've explained why I pronounce it the way I do. My brother's name is Mateo, and it is spelt the same as Naclateo. Mateo. Here, I'll do the reasoning. This is my brother's name. Mateo. Naclateo. Why do I pronounce it like that? Because me and my family are Italian. My great grandparents were like fresh off the boat from Italy. So we, we're very Italian. Um, and it seems to be a Latin-based society with Gothic architecture and Roman Colosseums. So I still just pronounce it like that. I will say, I don't know what nationality the people are that make the game. And I don't, it's their fantasy world to create it how they want and write it, but I'm gonna continue pronouncing it how I pronounce it. Wait. Out of no disrespect to them, just out of respect to my brother. His pronunciation is actually really close to mine anyway. Actually, like, my breaking down of it into what it would be pronounced like is... And the difference in pronunciation could just be that he has, like, an English accent. Which, the modern English accent came around after the American Revolution. They changed their accent into the Queen's English and perceived enunciation, which is what everyone speaks to each other nowadays over there. It's not how everyone speaks. It's kind of like how not everyone speaks like a hillbilly, right, in America. Some people, there's like a bunch of different ways to speak English now in America, because of the different accents and stuff. I never really had trouble understanding people. So I just view them as different dialects of the same language. I guess it's the Lord of the Rings. You know, at a young age, I was told Tolkien based all of his stuff off of linguistics, which is something he studied. That's super cool. That's why Elvish is a speakable language, and that's why I spoke it before when I said that I fulfilled the prophecy. So I have many questions now. Spirit birds. Blue wind. I guess it could be... Well, no, everyone uses the blue bird. Hawkman is definitely bird man adjacent, right? Or you see, it's even when you say it like that. Monway, the guy who made the Eagles, it's definitely tied to the Birdman in this game, Nightreign. Like, the stories overlap so much that if I just say a joke about one, it's like, oh no, it very clearly lines up, and I have to clarify which side I'm joking about. So. Damn. God damn, that just became like super loud all of a sudden. Souls? Damn, really? The hell is the perfumer? Okay. Sure. I'm not gonna mark a single thing. I'm just gonna follow my team and let's see how they do. I'm gonna go to their mark. I'm gonna race them to their own mark and see how many people just divert, go somewhere else. Okay. Gives me time to loot up. Motherfuckers are just banging shit. They're just having a grand old time. That's okay. I said I'm gonna just follow through with what I said and see how it turns out. Maybe their plan is crazy. Maybe they know something I don't. That's good for him. Honestly, the way that the game uses the roguelike elements of just randomization of the map every run is so goddamn good. Please go down. Keep forgetting there's like a secret third. You are not getting by me, buddy. Alright, maybe you are. Into the fucking sky with you. You trying to get a good light on that? Thank you. Oh. I was like, didn't I just have a level? Yes, and then I spent all of my money at the store. Ah, shit. You know, I never fucking use these. Let's just try it. I used it like one time. On purpose. I've cast it on accident a couple times. Yeah. I got you, buddy. Okay, ow. Hmm. Still thinking about the story of this game, particularly the Wilder. Can relate. Can relate. Ow. bare ass. Ow. So day 2, we're hunting that shit down. I'm gonna go through my normal route completely backwards through the city though, so it's gonna seem a little weird, but I'm just gonna say that out loud now. I know I have the quest in there. I'm going through the city backwards because it's still the optimal route. Even I'm not willing to risk so much loot for my quest. Frost and bleed would be kind of sick. That's a rock. Damn it, I knew he was gonna bail. Let's hit this up. That way we can get loot as we run through. Damn it, I pinged something. I didn't want to ping something. We're gonna go with them. Mission failed. I have to go with their ping. I'm gonna just follow my rules still. But treasure, look at the treasure. Think of the treasure. Anyway. I believe in the call out. I'll follow the team. Fucking stomped on. Don't mind me, misbegotten. So, someone said that those, like the misbegotten, are grafted to make them. But that would mean that there are so many more beastmen. They do look like frog heads. That would explain their head shape. And then Snake Man tail. that means there's like a green snake man, and then Birdman wings. Is that it? That's even worse than what I originally thought. It's not just an oppressed people, it's oppressing a fuck ton of people and then ripping them apart and piecing them together into like a warrior slave. That's fucking a new level of deranged. That's the Golden Order doing that. Exactly. Like, if that's actually what they are, then holy fuck. No one will ever be able to convince me the Golden Order is the good guys ever in a million years. If that's actually what they are, like, oh, they're fucking evil as shit then, and there's just no other way about it. Ow. Corpse wax, so fire. Just charge attack. I'm missing a lot, but I do a lot of damage with each hit now. Ow. Being locked onto that guy is actually worse than just not locking on. You should just not be locked onto this. You swing towards the center, which is like a big gap. It's not worth it. Here. My teammates are actually doing pretty good. How the hell do you even keep this thing alive that whole time? What does this do? Oh, fuck yeah. Alright. I need them to know I need to go here and here. So now I have a story here. First night was fun of not pinging, but this actually needs to happen. Okay. We already did all of the things that they're running towards, so we gotta fly over it. And we need poison for the boss, so that would actually be good. I would get this contraption, but like the mechanism or whatever. Mage tower mechanism. Just to make up for the time, I'm gonna get some mobs done, right? Damn it, no poise. Jesus. I'm sure, yep. It's nothing against them. Everyone has their own path in life. Mine just happens to be faster. So we're out. Level 7 before the ring closes. Let's see how far we can get into this place. Let them know. That's my goal. But I'm not going directly towards it. Ah. They're gonna start getting notifications for enemies killed. Yeah, actually, like right around here. Okay, wait. Okay, I was trying to use my ult, but that's one. Before the circle starts to close. Holy fuck, where did you get? Alright. Come on, you gotta be kidding me with that. They juked me out. It looked like they were turning around, but... Alright. Try to dodge it. Improved charge attacks. That's why I grabbed that. Okay. Now we become a pinging monster. Now, now I become everything I hate. For what I will proclaim to be the greater good. Alright, ow. Falcon! Punch! Okay, the fucking camera completely screwed me there, but that's okay. I killed a couple of the smaller guys. Where did you come from, sir? Bunch of treasure down here. Okay. Fuck, I want that so bad, but... Okay, look. Follow me. I don't know where these people be going. People just be running places. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Okay, follow me. One boss. Two boss. Three boss. I can do two bosses. Maybe. Mimic troll. That's cool. Just for that, you get in Mortal Kombat. Alright. Yoink. And you can go up here. You can mimic your shit. Okay. Give me a timeout. There we go. Getting that for them. All according to plan. We could have probably went in to fight Estelle, but these guys have a weird obsession with that middle boss. And I got my quest done, so fuck it. stole my kill. No, I'm just kidding. Just charge up. Okay, they don't really care for Estelle, I guess. I'm going for this, I don't care. Holy. What the fuck? Okay. I think if you... I'm not gonna blame the Iron Eye, but you could just shoot the Estelle in the eye when you get past it up there, and you get like a free 20,000 runes. It's pretty crazy, actually. Oh, guard breaking, two-handing, jump attacks. I'm fine. Ooh, what's that? Ooh. You don't say. Oh shit. So we're gonna get Commander O'Neill or Nile. Is he hitting his friend? Oh, that's her spirit. That's our teammate. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is Swamp Man. No. Outlands, I guess, is the snowy fields. Does that work? It fucking worked. I am a stronger necromancer than you. I'm sorry, Commander. Holy shit, that's busted as hell. You can fucking get him to kill his own team. What the fuck? That took like 2 seconds. That's actually so good. That made this fight like 100 times easier. These two are like the most annoying part of the fight. I just poked him once with a fucking stick. They did say Mikola is one of the strongest and most deadly of all of the Empyreans. Excuse you, sir. Good duel. Alright. Is my stream still live? Yep, we're good. Is my chat open? Yeah. Sometimes OBS doesn't show chat, like, at all. Just out here pondering. Whenever I zoom in on these 3D models, it gives me such a clue in as to how they make them. It's my security guard. He's like, dude, stand back. You don't want any of this. You got so much mana, Pyrosopher is running away. Ooh. How you doing, Kami? How you doing, bud? I am here. How is the computer building hunt working? Are you, working out? You thinking about it still? Or you decided on any parts? Are you in it now? How goes it, my friend? Also, your memes are always golden. The shit you send me on Instagram. I mean, I respond to it. You know I react to it, but just want to tell you. You got some funny ass memes. Helldiver shit and everything. We're always cracking up. Fucking love that. That's a support system. It's just people you could send memes to who share a sense of humor you've known for years. That's it. Don't want to help you feel sane. Get back here. Eh. We might. It's like easier to not lock on to this. Okay, when the poison wears off is when I switch to this. Oh shit. Can't blame him for that. The only way to evade that move is run for your goddamn life. Like I... Oh yeah. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah. Running in combat? No way. It's not. It's like sometimes strategic. Oh, I'm spamming the buttons. Zully the Witch has confirmed to me how I need to survive. Spam it as fast as I possibly fucking can. Look at that. I didn't die. I'm built like that. Need one more poison attack. There we go. Come here. Oh shit. That was a good ult on her part. I know that was my ally, but it looked like I pulled up my sword and a fucking spirit just showed up. That poor fucking Iron Eye. God damn it, I missed every fucking hit. I need poison on my weapon, damn it. Shit, I rolled the wrong way. As long as he's in the circle, he's fine. Damn. Could have waited maybe half a second on that. Strike me. Damn it. Damn it. My first down. I'm just chilling. I'm just on the walking mill. I'm still on the fence for a new PC. My parents just went for traveling. It's sunny in Wisconsin where I'm at. Nice. I just got let down hardcore by my teammate now. They both were at 3 bars before we even got the bus halfway fucking down. It's alright though. I got the story progress I needed. The main thing I went in for, we actually succeeded. So mission failed successfully. At least John Nightreign. Yeah, exactly. We actually did it though. I did my part at least. I did my part. I did my part. So where is the larval tier? Do I need to remembrance it first? Iron Eye casuals. Dude, that guy got knocked so many fucking times. I don't want to be mean, but
I didn't do
jeez.
anything.
Yeah, the Revenant didn't even go down once. Me and the Revenant didn't go down at all. They got down 3 times in like the first quarter of health. I was like, well, shit. We're gonna be picking this guy up the whole fucking fight. It does happen like that sometimes. It doesn't mean you can't carry people. It doesn't mean give up. Like, I tried to pick the Revenant up, and I was gonna be like, maybe I could focus on kiting the boss or picking the person up, depending on who the boss focuses, and then immediately it knocked her down again. I was like, shit. It's me and the boss, I guess. I didn't get knocked down until the very end. The Wilder's journal was updated by the recovered memory fragment. Yay! Remembrance and silver tear. The silver tear he grasped gently throbbed. The Wilder discovered a familiar brooch by his belongings. In his tribe, when one warrior gave such a gift to another, it was a promise to ever fight side by side, whether separated by land or sea. Did his younger sister remember such customs? He pinned the brooch to his coat and was their practice and gently as was their practice and gently placed his hand upon it. Once we're done, it'll be goodbye. He knew the twin horses would never run free again, as once they did, side by side. Perhaps just one could gallop onward. Time to use the best relic on Wilder. Yeah, no, seriously. Learn to jump, bud. A lot of it is, it's just timing. No. So are these the memories like right before he got pulled in to the round table? Bro, I've been reading the Silmarillion and I found out the answer. Like literally I found the answer. Look at how broken this relic is that I got randomly. Attack power up when facing poison. Attack power up when facing Scarlet Rot. So if I have that axe that does poison Scarlet Rot damage, I immediately get double buffed. It's so busted. Adele is a lot of jumping. You can just jump the big crag fissures he creates. I actually did not know that. What the fuck? I mean, it's gravity. I expected to pull me down. So, that's good to know. Art, the ultimate gauge +3 is so fucking nice. And also the infinite elemental weapon change. Alright, so look. I got the story. Olmo is the ocean god. Here, I'm going to pull up pictures of these people so people will be able to laugh with me. Tommy, you're going to be able to see this. Ready? Olmo from the Silmarillion. Right? This is old depictions in the Tolkien Gateway. There's some of the old official artwork that they commissioned. So you got the boatman with the wings on his helmet that's supposed to be alone, right? The loner with wings on his helmet. Look, and then look at the Wilder's coat. Boats, right? Boats. Jumping gives a lot of iframes in your hurt box and nips down. That's actually fucking awesome. So that Olmo, right? Who is Olmo? One of the Aratar. So look at all these. There's 8 of them. There's 8 Aratar. Ready for this? Ready for the 8 Aratar? Monway, the guy who has the birds, right? The eagles. Who winds up with... Let's see if it says her name in this. It should. Wow, it doesn't even have their connections here. That's crazy. No wonder people wouldn't be able to piece this together. So, Birdman, Guardian, Varda, Star Woman, his wife. Star Woman, his wife. Right? So their stories are tied together. Why? Olmo, the recluse, or not the recluse, but just like his own. They're all kind of recluses, actually. But so that's why it's like, don't worry about who's by themselves. Think of their powers, right? Waterman, who teaches the elves how to make boats, or he tells people, holy shit, Izaki's just a mega nerd making video games. Exactly. Ready? Ready? It keeps going. Yavanna, she created time passing in Middle Earth. The two trees signify night and day, right? So she creates time, right? And she's also the elder sister. So she's a sister and related to time and the two trees. Time, and she's a priestess of the round table, the two trees, right? Her whole thing is time. She's a priestess of the round table, of the Erd tree and the silver trees, right? Aule, the forger of the dwarves and stone, right? They're even in order. That's fucking crazy. But Aule makes the dwarves, and then they fear him for his wrath because he thinks that they gotta destroy, he's got to destroy them. But then Iluvatar's like, no, look, they have a will of their own, but we're gonna put them into a deep sleep, and they'll wake up when the humans and the elves wake up. So Aule made his own people, right, through grafting the dragon bones, wearing of dragon bones, making their own people, grafting. And Stone, Totem Stella, right? Mandos, the quiet spirit halls of the dead. People go there to be revived later on, and he can summon spirits, right? The quiet man, the one dude left, his whole thing is the Crucible Society, and if you go into Mohg's dynasty, it's the Crucible Colosseum's crypts, right? It's all about crypts and death and the halls of Mandos, the places where people are buried to be brought back to life spiritually, right? He can summon the spirits. And then that leaves one last person. Actually, two people. And it'll be very obvious. We'll start with Orome, the hunter, right? The huntsman of the Valar. These are all the Valar, right? So he's the huntsman. Ironite. That's the last guy, right? And then Nienna, the woman who has something to do with the halls of Mandos, which is all about spirits. Mandos is also occupied by spirits older than the world that were with Iluvatar. So spirits older than the world, if my theory is correct and she is from the past cycle, she's the sacrificed maiden, right? Then she, the white-haired maiden who can summon spirits older than the world, is the Revenant. We did it. I found all of the characters, brother. And each time you finish Hollister, you get the treading across the sea cutscene. That's crazy from the darkness. Light follows suit. Exactly. Recluse has a spirit baby. Exactly. Well, that is a baby, but she literally summons spirits from the earth. She's all about the night, right? The stars. She's the recluse. They're all recluses as well. But I think you're right in that she could also be the spirit of Mando's sister. Like, that actually is a thing. My search history is just Olmo, Valar, Monway, Orome, Varda, Tiana, Yavanna. It's just the fucking... But the Revenant is the spirit girl. Exactly. It could be a mix a little bit. I saw them, but it's definitely... Recluse is of the stars, Revenant is of the spirit. She summons spirits older than the world through necromancy, right? Immortal March. Family, fallen family, they're all related through the stars. So I did it. I actually solved Elden Ring, and that was the premise of my theory, right? So now I have visual proof to say all of my theories were right. Everything that I've said, I was right. Everything. Who's the Brig Brawler Raider represent? He's one of the cooler dudes, in my opinion. Aule, the forger of stone who made pretty much he's a great craftsman. I'll summarize his story. He's a dope motherfucker. So Iluvatar makes everything. He's like the one above all that like the Chaos Flame in Elden Ring mentions. That's like Iluvatar, right? So Iluvatar makes all of the Valar, or the Ainur, and the Ainur become Valar, or some of the Ainur become Valar, whatever. So the Valar, Aule, is the craftsman. He works with stone, and he makes the dwarves because he loves Iluvatar's image, right? He's like, well, if we're supposed to make stuff, right? He was never jealous of others' creations. So he wasn't trying to do it out of jealousy. He literally loved his creator so much, he started to create. And then Iluvatar was like, actually, that's pretty dope, so I'm going to let the dwarves exist. So he created something himself, the dwarves, and Iluvatar was like, just so you don't get corrupted, we're going to put them into a deep sleep. They'll wake up when the humans and the elves wake up. So the dwarves are older than the humans and the elves. But so that is the forger of stone, right? The totem stela. His whole thing is the forging of stone, and he also works with and is like related to Brothers of the Sea. So the reason he would be a pirate and or related to the Colosseum of Victory is like there are other Valar named like Tulkas and these strong, really cool dudes who are about like ass beating. There's a dude who just wants to throw hands, who I also thought was his name is Tulkas, but I think this might actually be Horolu. Anyway, greatest in strength and deeds of prowess, champion of the Valar, husband of Nessa, right? So he's just a fucking dope motherfucker. And so the only two people that I thought he could be are this guy who's just a badass, who is so strong he goes, oh, Melkor's over there, let's throw hands. So he runs over there to beat the shit out of Morgoth Melkor. Like, he literally exists just to beat the shit out of evil. He's such a cool guy. And then Nessa is his wife. That's funny. I say you should thread Miyazaki and just ask him if they designed the playable characters in parallel to the Silmarillion. Well, it wasn't Miyazaki who designed the game. It was a different... To put some respect on his name, because I don't know it, who was the lead designer? But it does support my theories for Elden Ring. All of them. Kind of proven them, but I don't want to say that. This other thing, here, I don't need to tweet him because he already answered my question. Here, watch. Miyazaki, Elden Ring, Lord of the Ring, influence Night Cavalry. So he just straight up says, Miyazaki said that Lord of the Rings and series like Rune Quest were influences for Elden Ring. Specifically, the Night Cavalry are the Nazgul, right? Because there are 8 of them, or there are 9 of them, like the 9 mortal men doomed to die, right? The Lords. So, again, it all supports my theory. Ishizaki, that's his name. Thank you. It was Junya Ishizaki. You're the man. Thank you. So the Raider is a champion of his war god Grin's monument. So my theory is that it's Tulkas in disguise after having defeated Aule. Or something like that. Like, he defeated Aule, because Tulkas is fucking... Yeah, forged by Aule. Tulkas chained Melkor with the enchanted chain, Angainor forged by Aule. So they're homies. So that's why the whole story of him assuming the identity of the White Claw when really being, or the White Horn while really being Black Claw, it kind of ties their story together, right? He's one dude pretending to be another. So I don't truly know their identities, but just looking at it with him being able to summon Totem Stella and his rage being retaliate, right? It kind of is a mix of Tulkas and Aule, because he forges stone, Totem Stella, but he's also retaliating in full strength like Tulkas. So at least you see what I'm saying, though. You literally see the parallels, so you know what I'm talking about. And also visual ties as well as power ties, which is called thematic ties, right? Their themes are the same. Her theme of stars, Varda. Her theme of spirits beyond the world's life, right? Nienna. His thing about bringing the dead back through his armor, and it's the halls of Mandos, that would be the Crucible Society. That's Mandos. Yeah, that's literally, it's just his name. Hall of Mandos. It's in the name, I forgot. So this would be maybe Aule. I would say Aule simply because he's one of the 8 Valar, or Aratar, right? One of the strongest 8, and these are the first 8 characters that we get. So I think it's Aule pretending to be his best friend who's fallen, Tulkas. Threads him and you get all that clout. I'm not here for clout. I'm a game designer. I just want to know that you feel I'm right, because then that means I could maybe make my own video games one day. If I'm drawing parallels that you can see in one of the most famous games in the world. You know what? I've been making my game. I'm really proud of it. I'm excited to keep making it. But, bro, this shit's so fucking good. Let's get this story. Let's get this bread, gamers. Do we need just the larval tier or the whetstone as well? I'm gonna do that just in case. We actually need to do this. How about you threads him and tag him, just literally send him my stream and be like, or clip that minute of me explaining the thing and send it to him. You'll be the realest one. You'll get clout. I'll get clout. I'll clout you up. Just the tier. Okay, for sure. Everyone Wilder. No one switch. Everyone join the Wilder. Everyone play Wilder. I'm not talking to these people in game. There's no voice chat. I'm just channeling that energy. Beat Hollister. Oh man, I love this game. I love Elden Ring. I love it so much I may have contributed to deciphering the lore. It feels good to say I'm right, but like, it was more of a, maybe I saw something theory, I need to look into it the whole time, and then when I finally found a parallel so apparent that I can pull up the characters and just make them, like, you can't argue that it's not the Valar, you can only argue maybe which Valar they are. So, Valar they are. But no, it actually is, it's fucking beautiful. And then from there, all of my other Silmarillion parallels and contrasts and criticisms in the story of Elden Ring hold true, because it isn't just the Silmarillion, it's George R.R. Martin and Miyazaki's story world from the Dark Souls universe, right? Because this ties together the God of War and Grin and the cycle continuing. All of my theories continued, so it's no longer if this is canon, it's more of a when this is canon now. When does the community accept that this is the story? And now you see the truth. Now I speak so much truth, you can no longer deny, community. it's so beautiful. But I know you know, because you even said you saw the parallel, so I'm like, you already see it. You already know what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. We're out here. We're out here changing the fucking game. Though I am a game designer. Like, I can say it's a bit of a cheat to know, to be like, I see how this works because I know how they build these things, right? That's a cheat. I know how these things are built, so I can deconstruct it a little easier because I program video games. So it's not like it's like I'm sure a lot of people saw this same shit and I'm just contributing to the conversation because some lore videos have helped me. You got the Ravens of Darkness with you. Get that bread so they can eat. Yeah. Let's get this bread, gamers. It's not cheating being a nerd and informed on iconic writers. No, yeah, I know. But I've been in the Discord, like in the official. That's Spider Sense though. I heard the fucking sound effect and immediately dodged. Anyway, I've been in the Discord with the Elden Ring people, like in the lore channels, talking about these things, and people have been just asking me to clarify, and someone will come in and argue against me, and then after I clarify, they just stop responding. And I'm like, damn it, dude. But you saying you see the parallel, I already know you're 10 times better than anyone I had to argue with, because you literally, that was what I was trying to get them to see, was just the parallel, right? When you see what I'm talking about, then it's hard to unsee it, right? So that's why I'm like, alright, my assumption, right, that it was an assumption at first. It seemed to be like Elden Ring is based off Lord of the Rings, and I kept making the joke until I actually got so deep into the story that I was like, I need to look it up if they literally made it based off Elden Ring or based off Lord of the Rings, because it opens with a poem like Elden Ring, right? Like there's so many things that I couldn't, I love Elden Ring, but I also love Lord of the Rings. So I was like, okay, am I just seeing a parallel because I'm a crazy person and I love both of these things, right? Or it's like, wait a minute, what's happening here? Okay, we're kitted the fuck out right at the start. Twin bird kite shield. So everything had a twin? God forbid you actually have game based around the lore of Lord of the Rings and written by the wannabe Tolkien George R. R. Martin himself. I know. And honestly, to his credit, I didn't like his writing style because I was like, it's weird. The subject matter he focuses on is weird as hell, right? Like the essay stuff and all that shit. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever the fuck. That's weird. Now that I understand that he's teamed up with Miyazaki and made it all a criticism of those things, I'm like, oh, well, I know where you stand, and that changes what I think of you. Like, now it's like Miyazaki writing about it, right? It's like, oh, the whole point that I've seen in Dark Souls before Elden Ring even came out was the criticism of blindly following religion. So I don't want to get too deep in it, just in terms of themes and stuff. I noticed him now paralleling those themes in like Game of Thrones and all this stuff. Like, what if magic was real? People would still use that shit like in certain twisted ways. Like politics would just be even more corrupt. And it's like, oh shit. Okay, dude, I see you. It might not be as hopeful as like a Lord of the Rings story, but he is a fan of the writing style. I wouldn't write a story like George R. R. Martin, but I wouldn't write a story like Miyazaki, and it's one of my favorite goddamn series ever. So it's not a criticism to be like, I wouldn't write a story like that. It's just like, you know, it's just a difference in opinion. I still like the story. It's like Warhammer 40K. I think the Space Marines look sick as fuck, but I don't really care about the story. I know the story. I think it's cool, but it's more so about the Space Marines. Let me be 100% honest. I just think that the Ultramarines look fucking dope as shit. And the more... I hope that the Space Marine story, right, the Warhammer 40,000 story, is more about just, like, cool things that the Space Marines do, and then they tie the politics in it through, like, the Inquisitors and shit. George R. R. Martin really has a details fetish in his essay method of talking about trees that don't matter until Bran gets wargame. I still... Oh shit. We'll trade fire attack power because I'm not doing that right now. I still haven't finished Game of Thrones all the way for that criticism I mentioned before of like well, and to be fair to George R. R. Martin, the show that I watched was ruined for the reasons I stopped watching it before it was ruined. I was like, well, it's not like I thought, oh, it isn't like the books, because I didn't read the books. I just was like, oh, this is like a surprising story, right? That they took it in this direction. And it turns out that from that point was like it was like a Dragon Ball Z thing. They caught up to the manga, right? In George R. R. Martin's manga, they caught up to the writing, and they had to do filler episodes kind of shit. But because like, how are you gonna end a series when the writer hasn't ended it, right? So if you want to set up things for further down the line or kill characters off that in like a visual way, that means like they're very clearly dead, when in the book it was actually a little more ambiguous and that person was supposed to like come back later on, but you didn't know about that, right? Then you ruin the story, and they might not even know that they ruined the story. So like, you know, it's the thing was they ended up diverging from the story and telling their own, and the story that they were telling was like, oh, okay. I found out later it was different than the books. Again, I stopped watching like season 4 or 5-ish. It was also like, I mean, you remember. I'll just say it. I kind of stopped hanging out with certain people, so I was like, I don't really have an excuse to watch this show. I can analyze it critically now. And then I realized I didn't really care for it too much. But it was the show. I can't say that about the books, I don't know. I do have fire. I'm just saying I'm uninformed on the books and like half of this show. So I can't really criticize George R. R. Martin's writing style. But the things that I like, the show is manned until season 6 and 7. No source to work with other than George is saying, yeah. And that's kind of, and that's like going to the first edition with no editing of a book. Right, like asking the writer is a good idea, but there's a reason there's a writing process where like you go through editors and other channels and rough drafts and multiple drafts, and why people don't share their work. It's why I'm not sharing my development, right? I don't want to show something cool that I might have to change later, and then people are like, where's that really fucking cool thing you showed off? It's like, I'd rather avoid that by just keeping it until it's a really good story, and then any of those cool things that could have been or should have been but were taken away, I can mention in, you know, like in the stream or in development, just talking offhand to people, and then that might inspire people to be like, oh, well, you should have told a story like that, you know, like I'm gonna actually make my version of the story where that happens. Like that's perfectly fine as well. Sometimes I notice that there's like a whole other world that you could write. I would take this, but I will let him. What did he sacrifice? Thank you. It's almost like infinite possibilities. Every character could have made a different decision, and that makes a whole entire unique story in a different setting. But no, yeah, it is why I like writing. And that's why I say like the real creativity comes from like true fans. Oh, I saw the thing. True fans can criticize, or yeah, true fans can criticize a work because they know it well. people might have like a "this is dumb because I don't like it" reaction, right? Which you can write off. But if someone is like "this is dumb because it goes against everything we've built up in the series and these characters' decisions," and like they start analyzing the story and stuff, you can't really write off that person's, opinion as much. Because it's like, well, that guy clearly gave a fuck. He read the whole thing and he knows what he's talking about, right? He might have a weird worldview, and it might change his, optimal outcome to the story. He's like, I want it to end like this. I want religion to win. So I want America to be the good guy. I can't accept it any other way. It might apply to some people, but, it's just a hypothetical. Left a lot in the air causes the pitfalls they stumbled into. Not to mention the HBO's wanted to focus on the Star Wars project they got signed into, which they lost because they did exactly what I'm talking about. When you don't respect the source material that has global fame, it's like you better be 100% sure the fucking story you're making is way better, right? Because you're now ruining this story. You might not be able to work again, right? Because the reason it's famous and beloved by so many is, the way it fucking exists, right? So if you change the way it fucking exists, people might not like it as much, which is exactly what happened with Star Wars. So, like, everyone loves I have tattoos of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. And I don't like that the people try to do, like, the woke argument of, like, oh, it's like what I'm saying, right? It's like, I can criticize it because I love Star Wars. And I'll be like, the lightsaber fighting wasn't as good. I don't think that's how these people would have used the Force. This character should have done this thing to represent these actions throughout the series and echo it, right? It's very clear that the person who made this wanted to just voice not like a political opinion or something, but just like a story that most people don't agree with. But most people might be wrong, right? But sometimes the people who are making the story need to understand. I think what had happened was they thought people were saying like, oh, I'm cheering on the Empire, right? I'm not. I'm just saying, like, they thought people were cheering on the Empire for X, Y, or Z reason, and then they put that on the fans in a generalization. So then they said, if you like it like this, if you like the story, you are a bad person or whatever, right? I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but in some people's eyes, that's what happened. So then you now pair them with the radicalized people, and then they're just going to argue. They don't agree with them, right? But they don't agree with you, the creators, and then you kind of ruin the discourse and enjoyment of the series, because you end up generalizing, which is your criticism of, like, don't generalize. And that's why it's not like I don't like the whole... There are people who are like, oh, Ironheart is bad because she's a woman and she's black. And it's like, fuck those people, right? That's not a real criticism. Those guys are losers and bigots, whatever. But if they're like, the CGI wasn't as good because it was like TV quality, it's like, I didn't see it, right? I can't accept, like, you'd have to show me what you mean by that. That's a visual thing though, right? And also opinion. But if their reason for saying that is Ironheart is black, get that right off their opinion. I'm like, you're just hiding your bigotry. You're just, you went stupid with Game of Thrones. You can't mess up Star Wars. Exactly. Disney proceeds to struggle with their trilogy reception. Exactly. So it's like, there are people who generalize and bandwagon, and just to be like, you agree with me that the CGI was bad, so obviously you agree with me that it's bad that she's black. And it's like, nope, you're crazy. We don't leave any room for interpreting it like that, right? And I think that's a big thing that happens online. Is some people might want to be part of the, I don't like Star Wars now because of, like, the fight scenes weren't as cool. Before, they were based off kendo, which was a real fighting style, so it might have seemed slow, but it was because people didn't want to get cut by this laser sword, right? Which is really cool. And now they added flips and stuff in the sequel, or in the prequel trilogy, which also looks cool. but it's a different thing. They realize like you have the Force, your space wizards, you can make it more like anime fighting and people like it. Both are cool. But then if you have like just neither of those things, people twirling around stuff because you don't think people are going to pay attention, it's like the whole series, half of the appeal is the lightsabers, if not 90% of the appeal. So of course people are going to pay attention to when they're using the fucking lightsabers, dude. So it's like that's a criticism. It has nothing to do with politics or race or any of that shit. That's a real criticism. So, and then to go against that, well, I watched the Acolyte series and I thought it was fucking awesome. I was like, it's set in the like KOTOR era. It is introducing things from Legends. Like there was the fight scenes were cool, the acting was awesome. I think that's what it was. I'm gonna say it. People were saying the acting was bad just because women. They're like, I don't want a girl main character, so I'm just gonna say the acting is bad. I was like, what are you talking about? Like I genuinely did not understand the criticism. I waited a while to let the criticisms stew, right? Let everyone establish how they felt about it. Then I watched it. Wasn't intentional, it's just how it happened. And honestly I really liked it. This is already open. But yeah. I think that is a big complaint about things. And then there is something to be said about pandering. Oh my god, this is like the worst. What is it, my birthday? You got all of my favorites here. The Carrion Knight, right? The Royal Knight, and the Godskin Noble. Can I just fight her? It's funny that you can't have 3 health bars. She's a boss that just doesn't have a health bar. Thank you. I don't know why that didn't pick me up. It was very clear that you hit me, but it's okay. And maybe it's a internal bias against it. They don't want to. It's like internalized racism. They think I could just say the acting's bad, and therefore I could cop out and not have to think about my racism. I don't know what it is actually. I'm like, well, I'm not that, right? I watched Iron Heart. She isn't a hero by any standards. Heroes don't deal with Mephisto. Okay, well there you go. That is a kind of criticism, right, that you can levy against a character from like the comics, right? Mephisto is one of the biggest bads in all of the comics. He's supposed to represent the devil, right? Not even sort of. He is supposed to represent the devil. So dealing with the devil, but then it goes into the writers and not respecting the source material. Does she do it in the comics? If so, is it maybe internalized racism on the... Why don't any of the other fucking heroes do that? Why did you make one black hero and then you're like, oh, but she deals with the devil, right? It's like maybe there is something there, but it's a different criticism than just the fans are racist. It's like it's like a weird ass plot line. What the fuck? But I would need to see it myself to form a full opinion. But that is, if that's your criticism, I see that's a genuine criticism of the story. You're right in terms of, as someone who has read many comics, Marvel, I have Spawn comics, my brother has like a bunch of DC and Marvel comics. You already know. My younger brother Mateo is like a huge fucking comic book fan. So that's like a big thing. Maybe also internalized homophobia is why the gay characters get called out, right? I mean, people are very sheltered here in America. They forget that there are nations that genuinely like punish civil rights activists for just liking gay people. They're like, oh, you side with them, you're an ally, you're not gay yourself, but you're cool with gay people. That's bad in our book, right? In religious, I'm not gonna blame anyone in particular. I'm sure it's bad everywhere regarding this, but religious rule typically do that. So of course those people are also gonna have a voice online, and be malicious. So that's why I'm like, sometimes the fans are actually just being weirdly racist or homophobic or sexist, depending on who is saying it. If you go into the comments and they're like, she dealt with the devil and she's black, so I don't like. It's like, yeah, that guy's racist. He's fucking crazy. What the hell, right? Like you didn't need to go there. What? Why did they bring it there? And then you have some of the further right-wing people who aren't really afraid to hide their racism or shame, right? They're not ashamed of it. They're just like, you know what? Fuck it. This character's like this for some reason. And then they just, I don't know. They'll say it's whether it's race or anything. Now with the flip side, Tony Stark is a merchant of death before he realizes he's selling weapons to both sides. Exactly. There is something to say about having an arc. Right? Like, maybe she's dealing with Mephisto now, and then she ends up being the one to defeat him. That would be cool. But if it's a team, if it isn't in the show and he's established to be like the new universal bad guy, then they made her essentially the jester character, right? The uncertain character. They can exploit her loyalties later. Mephisto could be like, well, I have your soul, or well, I have your parents, they traded your soul, or well, you know, this, that, or the other thing. I'll just reveal that you worked with me in the past and no one is gonna like you on your new team of the Young Avengers or whatever, right? So they end up doing her a disservice and putting her back into the racist archetype of, oh, she's a black character, just make her the traitor character, right? But give her a logical reason. So again, it goes back to, they're gonna hate everything, really. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, again, there is a valid criticism of probably the works. I got an extra life. But you don't have to go fucking surface level. But also, Riri Williams, Ironheart, caused all the issues with Wakanda Forever. I never watched Wakanda Forever because of the weird anti-vax shit. It just, you know. And also, Black Panther, I have gone on record many times to say this. Black Panther is one of my favorite characters in the DC universe because him and Adam Warlock were the ones that really survived and did like the Batman logic shit to like save everyone when Doctor Doom did Doomsday. So it's like, how are you going to have this Doctor Doom storyline and not have Black Panther be the fucking dope character that saves everyone, right? Because it sucks, but Chadwick Boseman died, and it's like my favorite character died, okay? So it's like, forgive me for not giving a fuck about Marvel. Well, the actor that played my favorite character died, and then they just like wrote him off screen. I was like, okay, so you didn't even honor his memory, writing him off screen, and then they brought it back in Wakanda Forever to honor him, and I was like, guys, come on. And that, I felt like it was too much of a, oh shit, people are mad, we gotta make good on this now. And then I heard that now there's a extended edition that includes a story about that. Her invention literally caused the war. See, I didn't watch it. I don't know that there is, or if there's a war, or what it means. It's more so, if there are criticisms of the story, and again, with the, maybe people are critical of the character, like hypercritical, because you just said it yourself, right? Like Tony Stark is also a fucking murderer, but it was like a redemption arc. That's part of the story, right? So if it's not in the series, then it's like you didn't. The whole point of Iron Man 1 is that he was that bad guy that sold weapons, went through a traumatic experience, and is no longer that guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Iron Man's not that guy, pal. He's not, right? So if they didn't so answer me this. I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got rid of one of the most, not even got rid of, you wrote off one of the most important characters, because Chadwick Boseman's death it was a tragedy, right? It wasn't like, oh, how dare you kill him, right? It just was like he got sick and he passed away, and that sucks. But the character of Black Panther, you didn't even need to recast him. The whole thing about Battle Planet and is maybe they still have time to redo this and shoot this, but the whole point, and maybe if I'm right and this is the story, then actually credit to them, and I will admit that I'm wrong, and it would be really cool if they did this. There's a Black Panther from a different universe. They do the exact story from the comic book, but it's just a different actor playing him. Just like they established Reed Richards can be played by multiple people already. They just have a different actor playing Black Panther from a different universe, right? And that Black Panther does the comic accurate ending for, like, the Doom thing, you know? Because I don't know exactly which movie it's all gonna happen in. They could separate it all. Because they did, like, Endgame after Infinity War, but it was just the Infinity War the whole time, you know? So it's like, who knows what the fuck they're gonna do, so... But that would be really cool if the whole point of it was like to eventually if all of the multiverse was just to establish a replacement for Black Panther, I'd be kind of cool with that. The other Black Panther is Warmonger. Everyone, holy shit. And that would kind of fit the theme of, like, what is it? Doctor Doom being Tony Stark, right? A hero that was once a villain, and now a villain that it was once a hero, right? Saves the world. And that would be a really good redemption story. But that, I mean... If I just guessed the entire fucking plot Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I was complaining, that would actually be kind of crazy. My theories know no end. I guess Marvel, fucking put me in a universe and I'm theorizing. Because I do know they mentioned Wakanda, or not Wakanda Forever. Warmonger being, or yeah, Michael B. Jordan playing Black Panther. So if that is the case, then it makes sense to do exactly what I just said. But to hand wave the death of such an important character, and then again, it feels like a make good because they know they fucked up on that. Wakanda Forever is a great movie though. Definitely watch it. I'll give it a shot just because you said that. But there, you know, at the time I was like, money tight. Why would I support, you know, big corporation and shitty ideals, right? Vaccinations are what saved millions, right? As a man who loves science, I'm like, oh, you're just fucking dumb, right? I was just explaining particle physics, theoretical physics versus applicable, right? In quantum computing, like the qubits versus what we currently have with normal bits and binary. So, I love science. I'm not even saying I'm smart. I'm just saying I clearly love science. So anyone who like says some stupid shit, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I'm not gonna support your dumb ass. Fuck you. But there are many people. I always say the same thing. In larger projects, there are many people that work on it, and to discredit. That's why large creators having a platform have to contribute, right? By not being completely fucking ignorant to science. I felt that. Piracy is on the rise, though, matey. Yep. And you know what? I just canceled my Disney Plus subscription because I'd be viewing too many things and then not viewing enough. So I watched Acolyte, I watched all these things, and I was like, these are really cool, I like them. And then they're like, I don't know if we're ever doing this shit again because of public backlash. And I'm like, they made artwork, and then they're like, hey, we wanted to evoke a strong feeling with artwork, and we evoked a strong feeling with artwork, so we're not making any more artwork. I'm like, cool, mission failed successfully then? What are you, a fucking idiot? They're like, we upset the racist people, but they have the money, so we're gonna go back to being racist for them. I don't want to say that that's exactly what happened, but they were taking money from Saudi Arabia, right? And that's where people go to cover up for that very theocratic ideal I was talking about before, right? Oppression. Can't stand against oppression and then also with oppression. That's not how that works. Star Wars is all about fighting oppression. You take money from the guys who chop up news journalists because they report bad on them. You're on the wrong side of history. I'll say that confidently. I'll be wrong. I'll kill every... I love Star Wars so much that I'll embody what it actually means. Even if it means I'll never be in Star Wars or connected to it ever. It's, you don't stand for anything. You have no conviction. Yeah. Can't watch with your nephew moment. Yeah. True. And you know what? We still watch the... my nephew still loves Star Wars. And I will still put it on when he asks. I mean, he moved across the country. I've explained this before. Ow. So no need rehashing it. But it do be like that. Where... Thank you for picking me up. It's like, what do you fight for, right? You gotta teach people to stand up against inequality. Okay, I tried to dodge and heal at the same time. I fucked up. While also causing inequality. I don't know. I got you. You got me. Seems fair. Again, my controversial take is that I respect all people and think they have a fucking brain. Even the people who were misguided. Right? Just because you were taught something stupid doesn't mean you're stupid. You're only stupid if you don't accept that it was wrong. Right? Because it was proven wrong. Disney, money crab. Exactly. It goes back to the people wear their hate proudly, right, on their sleeve. They're cool with oppression. They're proud of it, weirdly enough. They'll be like, yeah, we oppressed you. This is why, too. We think it's because this, that, or the other thing, right? It's like in Christianity, women can't be priestess. Right? There are priests, but there are no priestess. That's not a thing that can happen. Why? Right? Same thing. There's a bunch of built-in religious oppression that you don't even realize till it's pointed out to you. They're like, ask a question or two. Why do we do it like that? Oh, just because they're born that way. That's fucking deranged. What do you mean? That's a bit. My bit is pretending to be the bigot that we hate. Just for those who don't understand. It's lost on some people. And the CCP. And swing the sword. Do poise damage. Aw, shit. Almost got him. Oh, we're fucked. I'm gonna let these guardians tank them for this first phase because I used a lot of healing. Crucible Knights. Everyone's got a holy weapon. That's actually really good. Teleport? Yep. Okay, we just bullied Yellowster. I don't know what the fuck just happened. I just made the final boss fight seem like one of the easiest goddamn fights. Oops. I healed one time, I think, so far. No, the auto dodge threw me. Shit. Oh fuck. That was a hell of a trade. Ow. Good job, team. We got the birds with us. Give them the emote. They earned it. We got the spinning birds. Oh, to be a pair of dancing birds. What does it mean to be a better person? Just curious. Does it mean defeating the old you? Does it mean being reborn into a new version of yourself? Maybe a little area or some sort of land in between it all.